If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Manny Muro on the program. He'll be in action October 26th at Mohegan Sun, Bellator 232, and standing across the cage from him will be Nick Newell. Huge opportunity for the Dragon from Oklahoma, who is kind enough to be joining us right now. How are you, Manny?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for having me and giving me a little opportunity to kind of share my story a little bit, you know?
Absolutely. This is pretty exciting stuff, right? I mean, second time competing for Bellator. You fought up here in New England before, but this is definitely the biggest name you've been in there with. How excited are you for this opportunity in a little over 3 weeks' time?
Man, I feel like at this point in my career, I feel like everything just played out. You know what I mean? Like my faith is a big part of everything I do, and I feel like everything was lined up for a reason. You know, as far as like fighting for CES, already being familiar with the area, and then you know you put me on a platform like this, and it's just, I mean, it's just another fight at the end of the day, but it's a great opportunity. I had to jump on it.
How did you get the news about this fight? Walk us through how you found out that not only would you be back in the Bellator cage on a huge card. I mean, they're doing back-to-back fight cards that weekend at Mohegan. It's always a huge time for them, two big events. But not only that, but you'd be fighting Nick Newell as well. How did you get that news?
Well, my manager, shout out to Trigger, him and one of my coaches back in Oklahoma, they asked me, they was like, hey, where's your weight at? They said, how do you feel? And I said, I'm feeling good. You know, I've already been training. I've been training hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lifestyle type of thing. And they said, what do you think about fighting Nick Newell? And I'm talking about immediately. And of course, you know, I knew it was probably for Bellator, and I jumped right on it. I said, yes, like no thought, no second. I was like, please get it done, because it's just like I respect the man. I know he's an athlete. He's earned his spot to where he is, but you know, like opportunities like this don't come around very often, and I feel like this is a setup for me to shoot to the stars now. You know what I'm saying? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? He's gonna have a great career. He's gonna continue to do great things. I know he is. But this was my platform to show my story, to show the hard work I've put in. And so I was like, hell yeah, man. This is why we do it, right? We want to fight on the biggest stage.
For those who don't know, you're going to be 33 years old in about a month's time. You've had 16 pro fights, all of them since 2015. So you've been very active in your MMA career. And I love these stories. I love getting the perspective from each individual fighter on them because the stories are all different. They come from different places. How did you get involved in the sport? What got you into the gym for the first time and made you think to yourself, you know what? I want to get in a cage and fight people.
Man, it's pretty crazy. I actually, like, compared to the guys nowadays, you know, nowadays kids are starting 9, 10, 16 years old. I was actually 24 years old, and I just had that itch to compete, you know. I wanted to play college basketball, but I wasn't, you know, I'm a shorter guy, you know, so that just didn't work out. And I started getting out of shape, and a couple of my buddies, I kept hearing martial arts, mixed martial arts was a good way to lose weight. So I go in there, I just, you know, I fall in love with it, just the competition. And then the people that I was training with, the amateurs, they started fighting, and they're finishing people, and they're beating them. And then those same people, I'm submitting, and I'm dominating them in practice. And I said, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. So from there, I just kept winning, and it just ended up being just a journey in my life. It was crazy because when I did this, my wife told me, she said, Manuel, I don't mind you doing this, but just as long as you're not going to fight. And I said, oh yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm trying to get in shape, some self-defense, this and that. And then just boom, it just took off. It took a whole little journey in itself, you know. So it was,
how did that conversation go once you told your wife, you know what, you know, I told you that I wouldn't fight, but, you know, I just have to fight now. And now you've had, like, you know, over 20 fights at this point, including your amateur career.
Yeah. You know, the thing about my wife, and that's what I love her, bro. Like she's a true champion in herself, because if I told her, hey, I want to go out and be the best skydiver or the best bungee jumper in the world, she'd be like, you know what, Manuel? you're crazy as heck, but I'm going to support you because I love you. And that's how she was with MMA. She was like, I know you're a hard worker. She's like, I want you to be safe. She was like, but at the end of the day, I know I can't stop you. So she's like, I'm just going to do whatever I can. And she supported me in my whole journey. I'm talking about from my nutrition to buying equipment for me to train, everything in between. Like, like they say behind every good man is a good woman. And that's what I truly feel like I have. And that's why she's a big part of why I've been successful.
How important is that for you? Because it's not every day that you find somebody that supports something like this. It's very hard to find. You found it. You're one of the select few. I'd say it's like in the single-digit percentile of people who actually understand what you do. How great and satisfying is that for you?
Oh, man. It's like I said, my faith's such a big part. And I feel like she was just my soul partner. She's been with me since I was 16. So we've been together half our lives. She's a year older than me. And she's seen me at my lowest points in life, in my martial arts career and everything, and still believed in me. And she's seen me at my highest points and been there right by my side. And it's truly a blessing. I feel like she's a gift from God. I've grown. As you get older, your mentality changes as a man, and I've learned to appreciate her for what she is. And when I was younger, I didn't quite treat her like the queen she is, but now we're in this journey together, and with her by my side, I feel like we can conquer the world.
You've had a lot of ups in your career. You've had some downs in your career as well. Recently that happened. You had, kind of a rough 2018, losing all 3 fights that you had, but 2019 has started out very nicely for you. You picked up a second-round submission win in your last fight at Rage in the Cage 66 in June. How good did that feel, snapping the losing streak, getting off to a good start in 2019, and really setting you up for this big fight in October?
Man, to be honest, I'm going to be honest, bro. I started crying after my win. I started crying because, like you said, in 2018, I took a lot of rough losses, bro. I'm talking about getting iced out there in front of my family and everybody. It's a very humbling experience. After my last one in 2018, I actually ended up in the emergency room because I took some illegal elbows to the back of my head, and the only one that was there with me was my wife. And in that moment, it was very humbling, and it was, I took a step back for almost a year's time and recalculated everything. I put everything into perspective, and to be honest, bro, in 2018, after my last Bellator fight, I was 9-3. I think I was on a 3-fight win streak, and it is what it is. I'm human. I started feeling invincible. You start coming in heavier. You miss the running, the training that got you to that point, and it paid off. I learned in this journey, you're gonna get what you put into it. If you're gonna half-ass your training, well, you know what? The other man's out there hungrier than you are, and he's gonna ice you for it. And in that last fight, and in this one, bro, I've been training like a true professional, from my nutrition to my sleeping, to my supplements, to the training in itself is just professional. And when you do that, that's what gives me confidence. You know what I mean?
I was talking to Kama Worthy after he got his UFC debut win. He took a fight against Devontae Smith on short notice, goes in there, finishes him in the first round, and he's had a really up and down career himself. And I was like, how do you do that? I mean, you see a lot of 5-0, 6-0 guys come into the UFC or go into Bellator, and they don't learn the lessons that you've learned. And he goes, listen, there's no weirder feeling than suffering a loss and walking into your gym and having everybody look at you and see who's really beside you or behind you. So it sounds to me like you've learned that lesson as well, and that's turns into a great experience to carry on with you. Is that accurate?
Hey, man, yes, man, you're spot on, brother. I'll say it this way, and you're familiar with the game too, is that when you're winning fights, brother, you get 20 friend requests, 30 messages. Oh, this is my cousin. This is my brother. I'm proud of him, this and that. But whenever you lose, it's crickets. And in those moments, I realized, I'm over here at JacksonWink. I've come down here for the last 8 or 9 camps. And I'm telling you, man, these guys believe in me. Even after losses, they believe in me. They're like, hey, You know, Manny, like they see the potential, and that's why I ride with these guys. You know what I mean? Like you see who's bleeding, who's sweating, who's crying on the mats with you, who's pushing you, and that's why I feel like it sucks that I had to learn the lesson, but I'd rather learn it before I got onto a big opportunity like this, right? So.
You talk, yeah, and that's very important. And you talked about how you took almost a year off. You had to really kind of find yourself. What did you do specifically in those 10 months to sort of get your mind right and get back on track?
Well, you know, to be honest, brother, like I said, I'm just being transparent because I feel like me being honest about my story can maybe help somebody, you know, watching this or whatever. But I went into a depression, and it was because, you know, my whole career I've been pretty successful, and I had envisioned myself, you know, winning, getting to this highest level, you know, was just going to get there a long time ago. And I took these losses, and it really humbled me. And I said, man, I might not be as good as I thought I was. And I went through a depression where I was just, I mean, drinking hard, brother, drinking hard, got to my heaviest. And I finally just buckled down and just started praying more, started digging into my faith, you know, my relationship with God, you know, and it pulled me out. And having this goal right here, which it was that fight in June, it gave me a goal. And I said, if I'm going to go out on my shield, I want to do it the right way. If I want to look back on my career, I want to know that at the final stretch of my career, or whatever it is, I did it the right way. And the only thing that pulled me out was digging into my faith. You know, it gives me hope, gives me that feeling that there's something better going to happen, you know, in the future.
So fair to say, after everything you went through over those 10 months, getting that submission win, getting that finish, most satisfying moment of your career?
Yeah, it wasn't the most satisfying, but it was definitely up there, top 2 or 3 for sure.
And now it led you in a great position because now you get Nick Newell. He's a guy who here in New England is just huge, very popular, and obviously over the last few years he's become a big name, a big draw in MMA as a whole. Is Nick a guy, I'm sure you know who he is, but is he a guy that you've been watching for a while?
Yeah, I've actually, I believe I watched him fight against Gaethje. I've watched him. I think he's fought a time or two for Legacy, if I'm not correct. And then I seen his. I think it was his. I've watched his Contender Series fight, so I knew who he was. And like I said, you know, like I'm not taking anything away from him. He's earned his record. He's earned where he's been. But then again, like I think it's gonna be a scrap. You know what I mean? Like I've never been in the cage with anybody. I've had 9 amateur fights and 16 professional, and there's never been anybody that I felt like just had my number that I couldn't do anything with. You know what I mean? I've competed with the people at the highest level. You know, I train with Bellator and Jackson or UFC fighters all the time here at Jackson, and it's not just me just getting the crap beat out of me. You know, I'm giving it back. I'm a good training partner as well, and I can compete at the highest level, you know.
What advantages do you believe you have over Nick Newell? What is he just not going to have an answer for when you guys meet in the cage at Bellator 232?
Man, to be honest, like like I said, I'm going in there 100% respecting him, but I just honestly feel like I want it more. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you've suffered and just I mean, this is my opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you have the opportunity to just change your life? This is my opportunity. What else is there to, you know, like I said, he's going to, after this fight, he's going to continue to make a run. He's going to do great things, but this is my time. And when you have that self-belief, man, it's such a special thing. It's hard to explain, brother, you know, but that self-belief in myself and this opportunity that I've been given is just, that's what I feel that's gonna push me. You know what I mean? We're both athletes. We're both experienced on all aspects of the deal. But I just feel like it's my time, if that makes sense.
Are you prepared for what comes with the fight with a guy like a Nick Newell? There's going to be a lot of media attention, I'm sure. I will not be your only interview leading up to this fight. I'm sure once you get there, you'll be doing a ton of interviews, getting your name out there a lot more. Are you prepared for what comes with fighting a guy like Nick Newell, as like not just getting in there and fighting him, but what could come with it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, you know, I've went and took chances on my career. I fought in people's backyards. I've traveled. I've been down to South Texas. I've been up to Rhode Island. I've fought people that, if you can look at my record, I fought some quality guys. You know what I'm saying? And the media for me, it's a fun thing. I enjoy talking to you, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you seem like a great dude, and I get it. This is just a chance for me to represent my Native American tribe. It gives me a chance to talk about my faith, my story, and I just think it's fun, honestly. You know what I mean?
And you get to fight on a reservation at Mohegan Sun. I don't know if those link up at all.
Oh, yeah. Native Americans in general, they usually support each other. Me being Kiowa from Oklahoma, like, if the people over there, if they find out that I'm Native American, I'm pretty sure I'll have some supporters over there. It's cool, man. I get to represent from my Native American community. Native Americans, bro, are like, we're almost like extinct animals. You know what I mean? People, like, you know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but it really is, So whenever you get to go out there and have a platform and carry your banner proudly, I'm not just going out there with me. I'm going out there with my people, if that makes sense. That warrior spirit. You know what I mean?
And with your warrior spirit heading into the cage with a guy like Nick Newell, when you close your eyes, when you visualize this thing, I know you're at JacksonWink, so you guys are game plan machines over there. How do you see this all playing out on October 26th?
Hey, you want me to be honest, Mike?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I would love to get a finish, bro, but I know Nick's just a savage, bro, and I'm a savage, and it's gonna go all 3 rounds. It's gonna go all 3 rounds. I'm just, he's tough as stuff. I'm tough as stuff, and I'm just a grinder, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the fight might not be the prettiest, but I'm gonna get my hand raised. That's the most important thing.
Is this going to be the Arturo Ward, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gotti of this generation? Is that what you're predicting here? Something like that?
Hey, I'm telling you, people, tune in and watch, because we're both going to put on a show. And like I said, I got nothing but respect for the man. I admire his story. He's such an inspirational story. But it's just, it's the business. You know what I mean? Like him having a big name has given me a platform for me to shoot off. You know what I mean? For my rocket to shoot off. And he's going to continue to have a good career after that. And I'm about to take over right now. Like I said, I'm just in a good spot.
You are,
bro, spiritually.
I'm not asking you to talk trash or anything like that. You're in a very positive mind state. You've been very open and honest. I appreciate that. But what is the message for Nick, for the fans who are seeing you for the first time, for the people who believe that you're being brought into this fight and into this company to have Nick Newell run through you on his way to the next fight? Like, what do you want to say to those people?
I'm not that dude. I've never been that dude. When they do that, when they think of me like that, all that is motivation, man. You can see I'm not that dude. I've never been that dude to get run through. I won't allow myself to. I got too much heart, and I'm working too hard to just go out there and lay a goose egg in the first round and just let him own me. You know what I mean? Like I'm busting my tail out here. I've earned where I've been. This might have been the fight. He might be the fight that gave it to me, but I've earned this. I've at one point I owned 3 local promotion belts in Oklahoma. I'm a vet in this game. You know what I mean? Like, my record might not be as pretty as his, but I've been through the trenches. I'm a dog, just like he is. And so, man, to them people that think that, I know there's a lot of them, but hey, man, I'm just laughing at him straight to the bank, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is my time, bro. I'm a beat this dude. I'm gonna get a contract. And man, you're just gonna watch the Manny Muro show from here on out. And I say that in a humble way, I really do. I say I don't really like to talk trash, but my confidence is from a humble spot. I believe, as self-belief.
I believe that. I could see it in you're very. You have a lot of great conviction. You're very positive, and this is a great opportunity for you. Manny Muro getting ready to face Nick Newell October 26th at Bellator 232 at Mohegan Sun, part of back-to-back events for Bellator at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Looking forward to it, Manny. Appreciate the time. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can follow along on this journey with you via social media, any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours, sir.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on Instagram at Kiowa Dragon. I have a Facebook page as well. And I just want to thank my Kiowa tribe for backing me. They've sponsored me, Modern Tribal Nations, Wrights Customs, Joshua's Auto Sales, JacksonWink, my family here, American Elite back home. And man, just thank you, brother Mike, for giving me a platform again, man. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and hopefully this isn't the last time we speak to each other.
I enjoyed it as well. It will not be the last time we speak to each other. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate you being so open and honest, and I wish you all the best in training and in the fight on October 26th.
Thank you, my man.